Now I know what you're saying. Why are you recording your monitor with a camera? Because my computer sucks. Okay, but I have a decent monitor. So I'm on Apple's website. Oh boy, let's see. What if I want to get a really powerful Macintosh computer? Okay, let's see how much that is. I don't notice all the tabs up there. Those aren't important. We're just worrying about this. Let's get a Mac Pro. That's the most powerful thing they have. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Back to the power of 12. 12 cores of processing power. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how much this costs for 12 cores. Pure power. So if we want a quad core, okay, that's not even 6 cores. Okay, quad core with 3 gigs of RAM, a 1 terabyte hard drive, an 18x double layer super drive, which can't read Blu-rays. And an ATI Radeon 577 with 1 gig of GDDR5 is too fucking much. Okay, so that's enough of the facade. This is too much money for this. Ignoring all these other details, that much RAM should never be in a computer that costs that much money. Ever. Never. So, what we want, though, is something with 12 cores. That's what we're here for, is the shiny 12-core system. Oh. So, anyway, what we're going to do is get on here. Okay. So, all this, 2 6-core processors at 2.66 gigahertz, 6 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive, that same ATI card, a mouse, a keyboard, a little handy dandy guide on how the fuck to use those, and the super drive. $5,000. If I had $5,000, I could have the best PC ever, almost. Let's not worry about that, though. What we're worried about is this. So, let's see. You want 2.93 gigahertz processors. That is another 1200. Oh boy. 6 gigs of RAM. Say we want something like 64 gigs of RAM. That's 8 times 8. Now, that is DDR3 at 1333 megahertz. It does not support the faster stuff like the 2133, which you can buy, but won't work on this because it doesn't support it. So, how much do you get? How much does it cost to get 64 gigs of relatively slow RAM compared to the other high-end stuff? $3,550. Okay, so what we're gonna do before we do anything else, let's go ahead and get some RAM here. Let's see. Okay, so we want some RAM capacity. We want 64 gigs. There's only 3 things that are 64 gigs. Okay, that's what we got. Okay. Okay, here we are. So, for $3,000, which is less than they're charging for what they have, you can get RAM, 64 gigs of it, 8 times 8, at double the speed. For about $500 less. Really? Well, it gets better. For 1600 speed RAM, which isn't that much slower, same amount of RAM, higher speed than they sell you for, it's $700. Yeah. Oh, and if you want to get the same kind of RAM they'll sell you, 64 gigs, 8x8, 133 megahertz, 1333. It's $570. Yeah. No. So let's look at the processor real quick. How much is the processor compared to that $5,000 mark? Well, if we're getting the 6 gigs of RAM, how much is 6 gigs of RAM? Let's look up 6 gigs of RAM here. Back. It's 1333 megahertz RAM. DDR3. Right. Okay. So we're going to look for that. Actually, just check again how many you have. 6 1 gig sticks. That's kind of weird, but we'll go with that. They don't even sell that on here. Okay, so let's go with what they do sell, which is 3 times 2. How much would that cost? Searching. Oh yeah, also let's make sure we have the speed right. DDR3, which is, let's make sure we have this right. Okay. And DDR3. Come on, load. There we go. And searching. Okay. This, and you can buy 2 of these and have 12 gigs. Think about that. It's $40. So that's $40. And you could easily spend 80 and have double. But let's just go with the $40. Okay, let's bring up a calculator. 5,000 minus 40. We're going to round up here to make it simple. That is that much off. Okay. Now let's see. The graphic card. How much do they charge for that? No, we're not getting a RAID card. Actually, let me just get this out of the way before I continue this. $700 for a RAID card. How much can you get a RAID card for? $20 on sale here. Only $30. Now, I know you guys say, oh, the Mac one's got some more features. Really? $680 worth of features? Get back to me about that. I don't know that much about servers, but this just doesn't look right to me. Anyway, that's not massively important. We're not going to worry about the RAID card, but that's ridiculous. Okay, so that's ridiculous. And that's a SOPA thing. Don't worry about that. Actually, you should probably worry about that, but not for the sake of this video. Oh, wait. No, we're not going to worry about hard drives right now, but they are giving you a 1 terabyte hard drive. Okay. How much should those be? Let's set the camera down here. Just go ahead and search this up. Yeah, everyone's like, where did he go? I'm recording. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. Let's see. Aw, that was right there. 4 terabytes for $400. Cool. We're not worried about that. We're looking for a 1 terabyte drive that's slower than that. Okay. As soon as we can load it. A bare drive. Oh boy. It's 1 terabyte, but it's faster. We want this slower speed. Otherwise, it's just not going to work right. We're just not going to match the price. Interface. Here we are. SATA 3 gigs. Search. Oh wait, also put capacity 1 terabyte and higher. Search. Boop 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 boop. Boop. Okay. Now, admittedly, hard drives are currently really expensive. So let's see what the cheapest this can be as. At least regular hard drives are very expensive. This is due to a tidal wave that hit some factories and caused the prices to jump up. About $140 if this wasn't on sale. So we'll go on the not on sale price. Minus 140. Why does it always do that? Okay, 4,970 minus 140. Fucking calculator doesn't want to work correctly. Okay, so that much. Okay, so then it took only 5 years. Oh yeah, we'll worry about SSDs in a bit. Not right now though. Oh man. So that's the hard drive. The graphics card. How much is one of these graphic cards? One of these 2 generation behind ATI Radeons. Yes, we're in the 7000 series now. You can go get the 7000 card. That is a 7970, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So anyway, you can go pretty far up there. So let's go ahead and go to all stores and search for ATI Radeon 5770. Let's see how much those cost. $120. Now, to note, they'll charge you $250 to have 2 of these. To have 2 of these, when just one costs that much. Yeah. So what we're going to do is actually ignore that price and go with their price. So we're going to subtract $250 from this. They probably charge more for the other 2 things as well, but we're not going to worry about that. A super drive, they charge $100 for that. Now, it's not even worth it, but we're not going to worry about that either. Minus 100 equals. Okay. And everything else, the mouse, etc. I would say the mouse and keyboard put together would cost about $80 on their thing. So minus 80. How much could the case possibly cost? We'll be nice and say it costs $400 fucking dollars. Because people usually spend $400 on a case. Not really, but anyway, so we're down to 4,000. Okay, so they give you 2 2.6 gigahertz processors for $4,000. Now, if you wanted to get the slightly faster ones, that is another $1,200. So let's go ahead and add that. Plus 12. That is the price for both. Minus, sorry. How do I clear that? Oh, we have the number. Don't worry. Clear 5200 divided by 2. That's 2600. That's how much they're charging for one 6-core 2.93 gigahertz CPU. Okay. What do we do with this information? Let's go to processors, server processors. And I had to hurry and wrap this up because people need me to send them things. And there, okay, that's not what we're worried about. We're worried about processors. It's a Westmere, so let's go ahead and check that off. Westmere and search. Okay. Not gonna look. That's the other one they offer. I'm not gonna look at the price for that. It doesn't matter. We're worried about the high-end one, right? Which is the 2.93, which is right here. Click. I'm looking away from the screen on purpose because the price is right in the middle. Okay, now note the reviews aren't very high. There's not very many of them. Apparently, one guy got a Celeron in his box. I don't know if I can believe that, but well, feedback. Scroll. So the technician that he called about this problem doesn't even know what Celeron is. Probably for the better, but yeah, Celerons are horrible. Anyway, ignoring that minor detail, how much is the processor? That's still pretty hefty, nearly $1,500. Oops. Huh. So how much are they arbitraging? Alrighty. Minus Control V. Oh, they're overcharging by over $1,000. I bet you're wondering how they sleep at night, because I certainly am. It takes me about 20 milligrams of melatonin, and I'm a decent human being. Anyway, let's see, what else? Let's look up these. Let's say we wanted to get, I mean, the hard drives are about right, but what if we want to get a solid state drive? How much do they charge for that? They charge, wow, that's a lot. If you want to get 2 terabytes, they add 150. So, if you want to get 512, okay, so it's that much. But if you want to get just one a 512 drive, or you wouldn't normally, it would be $1,400. So they're charging $1,400 per 512 solid state drive. Okay, so that's how much they charge. So let's go ahead and find out how much you can buy a 512 megabyte solid state drive for on Newegg. I don't know. Let's see. No, I don't know. Capacity. 512. There's 9 of these. How much do they charge? With a transfer kit. So I guess that's gonna be useful. And yeah. Also, there's these, which I guess is the same thing with minus the transfer kit. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of things here. Actually, it's not even worried too much. I mean, look at all these different things. Okay, none of them cost more than $1,000. Nothing here costs over $1,000, and they're all 512 gigabyte SSDs. Duh. And yet Apple charges $1,400 for such a thing. Stare into my eye now. I have no words. So, roughly, they're charging us over $3 fucking grand just on the offset. Too much money for a Mac Pro. And I'm gonna look at any of the other lines because they're all pretty bad. But the Mac Pros aren't the worst by fucking far. They haven't been updated in a while either. To be exact, I think the last update was in fact to Westmere cores. That was a while ago. Yeah. Also, I still, let's do this real quick. Let's just fucking do it. Okay. Let's say we wanted to get an iMac. What's the smallest amount of RAM they put in their consumer computer at $1,200? I bet you'll be surprised. So, let's select an iMac. Four gigs. 4 gigs? 4 gigs. 4 gigs? 4 gigs. This is stupid. Why did they put 3 fucking gigabytes in their highest end system? I mean, I know it's the entry level, but this one's entry level's better. Okay, let's see Mac Minis, just for giggles. I'm pretty sure they're at 2 gigs, but still. That makes more sense because it's a miniature computer. Even then, it's not worth it. It's $600 fucking dollars, and who's gonna spend that much money on a computer that has these specs that you're about to see? Okay, 2 gigs of RAM, dual core i5 for fucking $600. Yeah, for $600, they make a pretty decent rig. Sure, it's not that small, and that's probably the whole price point, really. Okay, let's say if I want to get a MacBook Pro. They start at 4 gigs of RAM. Oh, wow. Weird that works out. So the only 2 things that have less than 4 gigs of RAM that aren't the Mac Pro are the MacBook, I'm pretty sure the Air. Let's make sure right now. I'm about to confirm. if the MacBook Air has 2 gigs of RAM default. The Mac Mini does, and yes, the Mac Air does too. But for like, oh, not much more, you get both a better you don't get a better processor, you get more hard drive space, and you get more RAM. Mine is a fair jump in price, let's be honest, if you actually look those things up in tab markets. But, yeah. So, the Mac Pro has between as much RAM as the MacBook Air and Mini do to the MacBook Pro and iMac. Remember that the iMac and the MacBook Air and the Mac Mini are all basically supposed to be consumer level products, while these are meant to be the Pro products, and this has less RAM on the offset than that. And that's a laptop, and that's stupid. This is why I don't like Apple at all anymore. There was a day when I might have sort of liked them, slightly. Not anymore. This is not even vaguely acceptable.